Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Love in Pieces and I am Suzanne Jones. I start every video this way, but it's just for those of you who have not seen my other videos. I'm not in my craft room. I'm on the couch recovering from knee replacement surgery, so I'm just bringing different supplies out here that I can work with. And I don't think about videos first. I just usually do my crafting first, and then in the middle of it think, oh, wait a minute, this might be something good to share. So this video is kind of in that same fashion. These are some cards that I made for a card club that I'm in here, and I will actually get to go to it for October. I've had to miss August and September due to the surgery, but I'm going to be there for October and I'm excited about it. And one of the things we do for our card swap is usually our host gives, or our organizer, our demonstrator, gives us a card sketch and we work on some cards to swap from that sketch. And I really, at first, I struggled with card sketches because I felt like they limited my creativity. But then as I got into it, I started to appreciate the sketches for what they were, and they were encouraging me to do things different than I might have normally done, try some different techniques, and apply my creativity in a different way. So now I'm kind of hooked on card sketches. In that vein of thought, while I was working on these for club, there's one set of card sketches that I find myself going back to that I really like, and it's Operation Right Home. And I'll put a link for that in the description of this video. But in trying to think about how could I like create videos and create cards and still do my creative process wrapped all together, I think I'm going to start a series of card sketch cards, and I'm going to go through all of the Operation Right Home and make cards for them. Maybe not all of them. I think there's like 300, but kind of start working my way through those card sketches because I really like them. And I like the idea behind that project as well, behind Operation Right Home. But you can look all that up. Again, I'll try to link the videos. The sketch that she gave us, that was kind of a side note. The sketch that she gave us for this month, I don't believe was Operation Right Home. There are a lot of them. There's, I think, Mojo Mondays, Christy Marcotti. There's several. If you just start searching card sketches, I think you'll find a lot. And you just need to find one that kind of resonates with you. Jump around, try a lot of them. But they're really easy ways to start looking at how to make cards. But this was the sketch that she gave us. This is a very pretty traditional representation of the sketch she gave us. A solid background with two stripes on one side and a stripe across the bottom. And I actually pulled out some of my scrap papers to make these. I needed a full piece for the I guess the main part of the card, and this is a 4 by 5 1/4 piece. But then these are really easy to pull out scraps. And you can see here I used a scrap piece of coordinating cardstock, and this is Stampin' Up. I think it's Inked Botanicals. Not positive on that. Again, I kind of pulled from a scrap pile. But then I added twine. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know I really like kind of that jute twine look. So I added those as my side element. And then I put my sentiment on the inside. Oops, got it in the envelope already. I just stamped a coordinating piece onto a punched piece of cardstock. Again, that was a scrap that I had, and just put my sentiment on the inside so that this was a very traditional representation of that card sketch. And from there, I kind of did a little bit differently, same style, but I had another piece of that paper, and so I trimmed it down, and this was actual scraps from my scrap bin that I used to make the stripes on it. And then I added the sentiment to the front on this one and just popped it up on some dimensionals. So those are kind of the two basics for that card sketch that we did. I did kind of weave the edges a little bit so that this one went under this one and then came out over, just to add a little bit of dimension to it. It's not much, but I thought it did look cute, kind of like I did the twine on the other one. From there, while I was looking through my scraps, I really like black and white. Those are just colors that resonate with me. But I had these scraps and I had saved them, not sure what I was going to do with them because it's pretty busy. These were just some trimmed off pieces from, I don't know, some other project that I did. And I was looking at them and I thought, how can I use that black and white? And so I tried it on black cardstock. I tried it on white cardstock. Nothing really kind of popped for me. And then I thought, let me just see if this will work, and put it on a pretty busy black and white. And I know that might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I really liked it. When I saw how it came together, I was like, oh, I love this. I did put a sentiment white cardstock on top of a black cardstock, and I used coordinating circle punches to get that, and then just my sentiment on the front popped up on, again, foam. And so that got me kind of looking at some of my busy scraps and what could I do with them? Because sometimes when we see something with a lot of pattern, we try to tone it down. But this one just really kind of resonated with me. So I actually did a couple more to use up some more of my scraps. This is the same paper, but in reverse. It was the dotted paper with the swirly. And then I was running out of the swirls, so I had to put in a solid stripe, which I think kind of accentuated it well again. And then the concentric circles popped up on foam tape for the sentiment. And then when I was done with that, I had just a couple scraps, truly scraps. They were bigger pieces, but I just put those two pieces of paper together to make another card, because I was loving that black and white so much. So that's just a way to maybe think about putting some of your busy pattern paper together. That sometimes it might actually work. It might actually kind of pull together nice. So I really like those. And then the theme of this video is going to be, I guess, announcing that I'm doing going to try to do a series on card sketches, but also just scrap, because in digging around and using those papers, this was all I had left of these two papers. So I put it together. It wasn't quite big enough to make a card front. So again, scrap piece of paper. I just put a coordinating piece of cardstock to cover the edge where they don't quite join. Added a little bit of ribbon behind my sentiment. And this was an extra circle that was just laying in there. I stamped it and was able to put it together. And then the last one's a little bit different. This was a card base from the Bright and Beautiful Memories and More pack, I believe. I'm not sure if I'm getting that name right, but it's a bigger size card base, and it came with coordinating envelopes. And this was the only base that I had left out of a couple projects that I was doing. So in looking at it, again, I found a scrap piece of paper that had been laying in there for a while that I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with. And this paper was from a paper share. And this is actually the front of some of that black and white paper. And I had just enough. I was able to punch out a couple of the characters, matted them on black, and just use this scrap piece of paper. Now, this is not from a coordinating, this paper does not come from this same paper pack. It was a different, this might actually be the Bright and Beautiful paper that goes with this Memories and More pack. But anyway, because they had kind of the same fun colors, I used those two together. And then I needed kind of a belated birthday card. So on the inside it says, I didn't forget your birthday. I'm just stretching out the celebration. And I think that's from the Something Fancy stamp set. And all of these products, other than maybe some of the cardstock, I can't swear that it came from Stampin' Up, but all of these are Stampin' Up scraps that are just left over after doing other projects. And we're kind of laying aside because I'm struggling now to figure out how do I store my scraps, because I have little bitty scraps like these strips, but then I have bigger scraps from 12 by 12 or 6 by 6 papers that I don't really use. And in all honesty, this paper was kind of laying aside because the other side of it is that Zany Zoo, and that just didn't really grab me. I like the black and white of it on the reverse, but the front side with the Zany Zoo characters wasn't really getting my attention. And is it Zany Zoo or Zoo Crew? One of the two. It was some of the cartoon animals that just didn't grab my attention. So I'm struggling with how to figure out how to store some of my scraps and what to do with them. And again, looking at those card sketches, a lot of them add elements of smaller pieces. So I'm going to try to use up scraps for those. But this just kind of came together starting with, I guess you could say, my assignment for Card Club. And then the idea of, okay, let me use up some of my scraps. And very quickly I came up with 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in no time at all. So that's encouraging me to pull out my scrap bins and actually start trying to put them together, because I at least save that paper because I like it, or I think it's useful and I want to get something out of it. I hate wasting things, especially when you spend money on them. And what I'm finding is I'm putting them aside because I don't want to throw them away, but I've not got good ideas or a purpose for them. And this little activity here, starting with just a simple card sketch, really got me to use up quite a bit of, kind of scraps, things that were just laying around with no intent or purpose to them. So just a quick little share of some cards that I've made recently. I think they're all pretty simple. I think you can totally tell how to remake them. It's just a large piece of cardstock and adding some embellishments. And more than trying to show you how to make a certain card, I just want to encourage you to pull out what you've got and start trying to use it. So I've got a few more videos in mind as I've been working through things in my craft room that I'm going to try to film for you. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're creative, and please be nice to people. Talk to you soon.